Alright, hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. I'm not starting too late, but I meant to start a little earlier today because I started work earlier and I worked later and then I worked more than I wanted to, but still got off early, but then chores took longer, dinner took longer, and then I was just eepy. But I'm here and I'm not that late. And we still have plenty of time to do a nice, kind of like 2.5 hour, it looks like, blackout stream tonight, which for these arenas should be plenty of time to at least get a good start. For those that don't know, I am a level designer professionally, but I do like to do some like personal work and level design studies on stream because I obviously can't work on my professional daily work on stream that much. I was able to when I was unemployed, at least work on some personal portfolio pieces, but that was about it. But want to keep up personal projects on stream, of course, so one of the first things I wanted to study this year was one of my favorite games, Kid Icarus Uprising on the 3DS. Had an amazing battle mode, very simplistic 3DS arenas, but it's like so basic, but it's so solid. Like some of the best designs are just basic and simple because if the design's so good that you don't even notice it, that's peak design. So it never hurts to go back and review arena basics, especially arenas is like one of my core level design things, one of my specialities. So I thought it would be fun to remake some. We're starting with one of the more basic ones, what is it? Forgotten City, I believe it's called. So we're starting with that, and then we might alternate between like making an arena in Unreal 5 for a few weeks, and then making an arena or some sort of other Fortnite creative project in that for a few weeks, and we might swap between the two throughout the year, but this is definitely something I want to make a few arenas in. We are using I'm a level designer, but I'm not a tech designer and I'm not a programmer, so we are using a template for the gameplay that's free with Unreal Engine 5. It's called Lyra, however you want to pronounce it, but it is like a third-person team deathmatch shooter template that you can use for a few different modes, but it gets the job done for like team-based PvP, which is essentially what Kid Icarus's battle modes were like. So it's going to be a good base. I don't have any of the like specific gameplay stuff set up, like the light versus dark things. It's really just I have the PvP there. If I want to experiment and get into a little tech design later this year, we might try to change some things to resemble the 3DS game a bit more, but for now I just needed a basic team shooter template, and this is one we've used before on stream. And I've used on multiple different projects before, so for better or worse, I'm somewhat familiar with it. So we're going to roll with that tonight. But yeah, I'm all cozy. It probably looks the exact same on stream, but I got my hair toned yesterday. It's rose gold. The rose parts are mostly like only in the light and only at the bottom. But we're working the pink back into the hair, so I might go full pink by my birthday in the summer, I'm thinking. I also have hot chocolate. I think I may have put too many marshmallows in it, but I'm using my thinking mug, grommet mug. This is what I like to use when we do our game dev streams and such. But yeah, we will go ahead and start to get into things here. So as a heads up, if you missed my weekend streams, I will actually be out of town this upcoming weekend. I'm taking a trip with friends. I'm super excited, and I actually have a hard out at 11 my time tonight because I need to go to bed. We are taking a Disney trip. Ooh, but I haven't been since they updated. They changed it was Fast Pass back in my day, and then Fast Pass Plus, and I used a bit of Genie Plus, but they changed it again to Lightning Lane Multi-Pass and Single Pass. So I have to get up at 6 a.m. tomorrow to reserve rides. So I need to go to bed at a suitable time tonight. So 11 is my deadline. As soon as it's 11, we will be signing off here. But yeah, I will be out of town this weekend. Those VODs from last weekend are up on Twitch and up on YouTube now. This VOD will be treated the same. Hi VOD watchers. And I think our next stream will be in like exactly a week. It might be a really quick, just like a 1 hour late at night, like catch up and chill while we do some polish on the level. It will be like a game dev and chill type stream again, but yeah, that will be in a week. My plan is for the next weekend stream, so not this upcoming weekend, but the weekend following, kind of like Valentine's Day, President's Day weekend. My plan is currently to do an Elden Ring weekend where we play on Saturday and Sunday, and then follow up with, I have President's Day off, so to follow that up with a game jam stream where we quickly remake a one of our Fortnite creative maps, and we quickly polish that up and push that by the end of the day. That's the current schedule plan. I will say I was planning on traveling and doing a family trip for like the end of the month slash like the first weekend in March being the next time I was out. But it sounds like my sister, who just moved, is also doing something, and my parents are also doing something to like help her, so I need to actually line up our timelines to make sure my boyfriend and I can travel that weekend also. And if not, we might have to move that around, so I don't think I'll have to move anything in the February schedule yet. I think it should be solid, but just in case, like that Elden Ring stream gets pushed back, or you see it cut down to only one this month, don't freak out. Don't think I'm backing out on the deal. If I'm not able to do 2 this month, I will do 2 in March, and I will still find a way to slip Elden Ring in. I might use my holiday time, like whichever holiday days I have coming up this month. If I'm unable to stream Elden Ring on a weekend, I may turn that into an Elden Ring stream, or we may swap our variety stream up and do Elden Ring on that weekend. I don't know, but hypothetically, if I have to move stuff around and we don't end up streaming for 2 weekends in a row, I'm not backing out of the deal. Just trying to figure out what the best times for everyone's family and everyone's schedules is right now. But we will be playing Elden Ring again soon. Currently for the first weekend that I'm back, but we'll likely do be able to do Unreal streams throughout the month still. Hello, Tapman! Yep, back in good old Unreal 5. Home sweet home here. Wow. I did not make this. This is just the default template, but we're gonna turn it into something a little fancier here today. Shout out to my cousin who streams and does like YouTube stuff over on YouTube at Cup Drinker, for he is the drinker of the cup. But he does some gameplay stuff over there, including Elden Ring. He was shit-talking me on one of his Elden Ring streams I saw. There he is. He spawned in when I heard you shit-talking me. But shout out to my cousin, he got a bunch of photos for not only this map that we are remaking, but a few other maps that I want to remake throughout the year as well. And I know it took him a while to get those from the 3DS onto... I gotta tab out my other thing here. But to get them from the 3DS onto Discord took a bit. It took me a moment to actually put them all in Miro, because I had to like download and then copy each one and drag it over like one by one. But yeah, thank you so much. You even did that little paper design you did for Desert Tomb. I won't show it if you don't want me to, but sick. It's making me want to redo my paper design here. I never bother to just put down an arrow icon on mine. I just draw it with pencil. I've been doing this for like how many years, and I still just pencil in my arrows. I gotta show it off. I gotta show it off, man. This thing's awesome. Let me scroll. I gotta scroll to the bottom of all the photos again. Oh my god. Look at this thing. So I'm not sure when we'll get around to making Desert Tomb, but I know I definitely want to. I can't explain it because usually I don't like desert maps this much, and I felt like I always died on this map a lot. But like, there's like this like pit you can fall down into in the center, and then there's a lot of good fighting and like some ramps that go like back and up, and then there's this balcony up here. Like, it's all the same grainy texture too, which I complain about in video games so much, but I can't describe it. There's something about this map that I like, so I think that's all the more reason for us to remake it at some point this year, to figure out why did I like this map so much. I don't know. I have no idea. But the one we're currently remaking this month is Forgotten City. So as you can see from these high-res photos, this one here is pretty good at showing most of it. So these maps were designed for like both like team deathmatch modes, called their light v dark mode, where it's essentially, it starts off like a normal deathmatch, but you have a team health meter, and then once someone's team's health meter is up, someone actually spawns in as their angel, which are characters from the game such as Pit or Dark Pit, depending on what side you are on. And then the team meter refills, but the difference is it depletes when you kill anybody on the other team, but whoever the angel is, if you kill them, it's kind of like getting the golden snitch in Harry Potter, right? It's an instant game over if you kill them, so all the more reason to like go and protect them. So that's something, if I were a little more technical, I'd love to put together. So that's like a bucket list with this project to get around to. But these maps were also designed to support a free-for-all mode, which is of course spawn in, kill people, respawn. But yeah, this one's basic. It's kind of divided into really 4 little quadrants across 2 main tiers of gameplay, kind of technically 3. I like to call stuff like that 2.5 because there's just like only 2 points where it reaches the 3rd tier of height. But a lot of good level design. This is what I learned from like AAA arena design. A lot of good level design has like 2 to 3 tiers of gameplay overall, because the more you like stack stuff up, the more maze-like it is, and it gets very hard to like keep track of people and where they're going and whatnot. I think exemptions to that are Splatoon, like Moray Towers is really good. They've started to go into more traditional arena designs with the grates and stuff, and I don't actually know if I like it that much, the maps with more grates. So they've found a loophole that works for them, but for traditional shooters, 2 tiers of gameplay with a few pop-ups is good, because yeah, too tall, very hard to navigate, and then if it's too flat and too wide, then you can just snipe somebody from across the map and it's really not fun. So 2 tiers provides enough flat spaces, enough vertical spaces for there to be variety for everybody. But we've got stuff like the spawn-in over here, we've got this collapsed interior portion that like these photos up here are from. Then we've got this little exterior portion with just a few ramps and like this little walkway here and some stuff to like dash around for looping cover. And then we've got this big ol' like upper tier portion here that you can actually get to with a jump pad, which I forgot about last time we paper designed this. But you can actually get up to it with a jump pad, or if you have the glide ability or super jump, you can kind of trick your way up there. Which I actually do like. A lot of these maps have things that, if you have certain powers equipped, can help you get a leg up where other people can't, but it doesn't completely unbalance it, I feel. But yeah, this is our little paper design that we mocked up of it. the jump pad, there's this big old void here. We've got the stars are where I've marked player spawners to be at from my limited tellings. But yeah, it's really mostly these 4 areas. The upper spawn with the ramp, the entire interior portion here, the little walkways area, and then the big void. So we're gonna start blocking this out today and see what happens. Actually, let me put this on my other screen again so I can look at it. Blah. Yeah, I hope you guys have all had a great week. I want to keep drinking from my grommet mug, but I really put too many marshmallows in it, so apologies. I'm trying to finish all the perishables in the house, so the strawberry milk, it all had to go. It all had to go. I had to make a gigantic hot chocolate. It was the only way. Let's see, where do we want to start? Actually, let me boot up my 3DS, because one more thing I want to do is I want to time, I'm gonna put down and expand this grid here out to however long we want the arena to be size-wise. So I'm gonna time how long it takes to run from one end of the map to the other in the game. And then we'll make a square base off of that. And then let me try, see what the speed we're running at here is. Oh, that's loud. You can't really, like, fully dash. You can just, like, walk. Turn that down a bit for you guys. Or I'll bump music up and turn Unreal down. But yeah, let me load in on my 3DS here. It's giving me a bunch of treasure stuff. I don't need it. I just need to run across the map. Let's see, we need Forgotten City, 20-minute time limit. Sure, that sounds good. So let me pull up a timer on my phone here. But yeah, this is like a low level design thing. I don't feel like I do it as much as I really should, but it's something you do a lot at the beginning is when you like time out how long it takes you to do stuff, or you like walk through in your mind, you know, how long should it take the player to do this, how long should it take to walk across the map, and you time it so that even early on you know if you're in the like right ballpark or not. So I'm gonna hit start. Never mind, I dashed. I didn't want to do that. Start. I'm just gonna walk. I'm just walking forward. No way you guys are seeing that, but... Alright, it took about 11 seconds to walk from one end to the other. I'll just close that for now. So let's go ahead. I'll leave this arena stuff up as kind of like a little kit for us to pull from. Actually, have we put anything in the blockout level yet? If not, we can... Oh, the sky sphere. Let me add the sky sphere into the level real quick. There we go. Where? What? Where did the texture go? I didn't know we'd get rid of the textures. Oh, am I missing the directional light? Or the skylight? Okay, there we go. There's one more light I think we're missing. Oh, there's a light over there. I see. Oh, that is the directional light. They just called it light source. I thought they usually left it as just... Whatever, these newfangled Unreal engines, I don't know what they're doing. Okay, it's fine, it's fine. I'm being too picky for the first one. I'm going to expand this up to, expand it up to 100. I don't think we'll need it to be 100. But just in case we're zooming and we run out of space. 11 seconds is where we'll stop. No, don't shoot me, please. I'm doing something important. Alright, so right here. Give me a cube. Where's my items? Why does it keep removing the window? Where's my place actors? There it is. Get over there. Go home. What are you doing out of your spot? Just go place a cube right about here. And I should have changed the pivot on this, but we're gonna do something hacky instead. We're going to just scale it down until we line it up just right. I think we're off by what? 2? 68. So let's just go ahead and round that up and make it 70 by 70. So this will be the size of our arena, and we'll keep it right over here for now. And I do want to use this blue grid texture as our texture for everything else. And they already have like the ramps at the right height and like all the gun assets we're gonna want. So hence why I'm just grabbing and pulling stuff, because I could, and I know how to be like, oh, let me spec out the ramp I want, and like what the jump height should be, and all this blah 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 blah. But we don't have to do that if we have it right here. So let me pull up my Miro board again. Let's start with this top corner here. We've got a kind of a gradual ramp down, but this little ramp down type of thing going on here. I'm going to just like roughly move things into place and not get too specific with it yet, because I want to make sure I have all these spacing on the outer edges correct. Also, I think we'll have to switch this out with a BSP at some point, because I want to cut a hole in the ground for the void so that you can fall through it and die and perish, which you can't really do out of a static mesh. Shout out to one of the best TAs I ever had. Their name was Brantley. Shout out Brantley. But one of the best TAs I ever had in college. They said that they gave a lesson on the difference between BSPs and the difference between that and a static mesh. So I'll even pull up the geometry tab here so y'all can see what I'm talking about. Because this has stuck with me. Before I was even Emily Cookie Dough, this stuck with me. Maybe that's why I'm Emily Cookie Dough. It reshaped my life. But yeah, on the left, this is a BSP. On the right, this is a static mesh. And a BSP is essentially cookie dough, because you can change stuff and you can mold it. Like if I go into the brush editing mode here, I could take this and I could move this around. Do a little dance. You can add stuff onto it. You can cut shapes out of it. You can really, it's not the full modeling tool that Unreal Engine 5 has now, but it's a way to move the geometry where you want to. So it's like cookie dough in that you can still add and subtract stuff and mold it somewhat easily. Again, you can't like completely remove all the ingredients out of cookie dough once it's mixed, right? But it is malleable to an extent. And then when you bake it, it becomes a cookie, which is a static mesh. And that's literally if you want, because these can be kind of high optimization, kind of taxing to have a bunch of these. So it's much more cost effective to make a shape you like, and then to, if you really are sold on it and done editing it, bake it and turn it into a static mesh. So that means you can't move stuff anymore. It cooks everything into place, literally. Could like choose how you want to do. I mean, I guess it's technically called building, but everyone I know calls it like lighting bakes and like baking it and whatnot. But yeah, then it turns into a static mesh, which you can still change the material on it. You can still like scale it up and down and whatnot, but you're not going to be able to move the corners on it like you could a BSP. So that's the difference. And because we'll want to do a little bit in the ground, I'll swap it out to a BSP eventually. But yeah, we have this here. I think actually this is 2 tiers tall, so I'll stack it on top of each other. And I'm going, how thick should the walls aren't that, in fact, let me look at the pictures. The walls aren't that thick, I think. Yeah, they're like about, maybe we make them 2 cubes for realism's sake, but, or 1.5 actually, that's okay. I can live with 1.5. Put it right here for now. But we've got this little wall. I'll go ahead and scale this up since it's just a blocker. It's not something you can climb on top of, so I'm not gonna worry about it. Then there's the shorter end of the wall. Just say it's right there. I'll probably move these around as I do the ramp thing. Let me take that and make this 1.5. No, the other way. Or actually, I'll just rotate it. It's fine. I'm making this shorter, or the size of the second tier of gameplay, because why is this not on the ground? Whoa, whoa, whoa. Why are you up there? Yeah, I'm making this shorter because we have that upper tier of gameplay. Actually, this is probably the same size. So I'll double stack it. Already I'm thinking this is too far out. Bring it down to 25. Yeah, these openings aren't really that big. Much better, much better. I shall proceed. I've been itching to do blockout work. Like, this is probably boring for some viewers, and I don't blame you if it is. This is exactly what I needed. I feel so relaxed, so at peace right now, just doing this. Yeah, this is just a wider version of that. Cool. I remember the ramps being fairly wide in these. Can I play from here? Okay, play from here works. Good. I'll make it a little chonkier. I feel like the ramps feel like really big when you go up them in this game, I think. I know we've put down like 5 cubes. I'm getting chills. I'm getting chills. I see the vision. Like, I'm standing right here. I'm home. This is home. It looks nothing like that, like the actual level, but I can see the bones of the actual level. And I'll be honest, some days it's hard. Some days you look at your paper design work and you're like, I can't see the bones of the level. Where did they go? I know they were here a moment ago. And it can be scary, but I see them. I see them. You want to write your first game since it's so narrative heavy. The designer in you wants to start making the level. Ooh, yeah, I feel that. My college indie group definitely went crazy over the narrative parts. And then they're like, okay, Emily, you're the designer, so you gotta design the game. I'm like, oh. But for Sonata Theory in college, I whipped up a prototype in like a few days of like, honestly, some of the trickiest mechanics. I didn't know how to do sequencer or like cutscenes or anything, or play media. I got that all working. I got basic UI working, and the most important thing was like locking the camera to a 2.5D perspective, like in Paper Mario. Got that working. Kit bashed like the dollhouse look we wanted it to kind of have. I was just so excited. Hello, pizza rolls. Oh, I could go for some pizza rolls right now. But hello there, Displant. How are you doing? It's on Steam. Hey, the Steam process is tricky enough, so congratulations. Part of me hopes to maybe do a solo indie game at one point. I love working with others, and I think I work best on a team. But it is a bucket list thing of I have like small indie work on Steam. I've got early access team, professional indie work on Steam now, and I have AAA work on consoles and PC. But part of me is just that little part's like, maybe one day I could just go back and learn everything I learned in college about how to get stuff onto Steam and maybe just like make something of my own. I've been kind of using Fortnite Creative to scratch that itch a little bit. I'm just like, every time I have a silly idea, I'm like, well, it doesn't have to be that polished because it's on Fortnite Creative, right? There's some very, very good maps on there, but also you can just kind of upload junk, and I think junk needs a place to go, to be honest. So I like kind of sandboxing ideas in Fortnite Creative, but I do want to actually polish up those maps throughout the year as well. But Fortnite Creative also be getting on my nerves some nights, so there's nights where I just have to... I've been wanting to open up Unreal Engine 5 on stream again for so long. My beloved. Oh, I think my mouse is dying. Let me plug it in. Started lagging a bit whenever I was moving stuff around. Part of me would really love to... If these arenas turn out really well, I might give them a section on my portfolio. Like, maybe we have a lot of them and they're actually really polished. So maybe I'll just, like, add them with the pumpkin patch stuff and be like, here are my modern, Lyra sandboxes. But I always worry, like, I know there's a lot of this Nintendo franchise in UE5. I know there's a lot of projects like that out there. But I know, like, Nintendo legal ninjas is a risk. And one I'm too scared to navigate currently. Okay, I need to block out the void here before I put more stuff down. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna use the cylinder, because the cylinder lets you change the sides, because it's a BSP, and BSPs, like I said, are cool. And for now, it's gonna be elevated. This is going to be a pit down, so once I have everything placed where I want, I'm gonna switch this out to a BSP, and then we'll cut this out of it, essentially. But for now, I need to get the overall size of this. It's a pretty big void, I would say. Okay, that's pretty good. What are they doing over there? Lyra does also have this like little dash that you can use to get elevation. So that's basically for now going to be our equivalent of like the super glide ability. Let's see, what do I want to do next? Let's go back over here and work on this part. Actually gonna bring this in a little more. Draw it back. And stretch you out more. Why is it not snapping right? What's it doing? I don't have time for that. Actually, how wide did I make this ramp? 8? I'm gonna keep all of these main ramps. Unless otherwise stated. At a width of 8 then. Hold on a second. This isn't lining up to be the right height at all, I think. Let's try lining it up at the bottom. Am I new to Unreal? Not exactly, no. I've been using it for over 6 years. I will say I'm not as experienced with Unreal 5. I only have like a year, probably like 2 years now in Unreal 5. But yeah, it's what I learned in college. It's what I shipped early indie stuff off of. Pretty much all of my professional work has been Unreal. Do I want to lower this in general? I like the ramp width and angle. What we have in our paper design is we can be a little more lenient with the stuff here because this is like a kind of angled slope down. Let me see if you got a better picture, Ben. There we go. This is more of an angled slope here. We could use another cylinder, I think, for that. But yeah, I do know a little bit of Unity. I used Unity for like a course once, but for me, as someone that's very much a visual learner, and very allergic to programming, I've found Unreal to be like way more just accessible for me to be able to do stuff in. I do want to like learn how to get better at programming again one day. I took a web dev class in college that I really liked, but I also took C++ course, and I don't blame the professor so much, but there was not the great TA I mentioned, right? But I had a different TA for this coding class, and I think they meant well, but however, I remember being in a lab, and it was like it was one of those like 8 a.m. labs just right at the start of the day. So like no one wanted to be there. I certainly did not want to be there. Everyone was grumpy, everyone was upset. But then I'm just gonna actually use blockout ramps for now. We don't need to be fancy with this yet. It's the blockout. But I remember having issues with like getting something to work because I don't know how to code. That's why I was taking the class, because I did not know how to code. And I remember having a question, and somebody who had paid attention to the whole like presentation in lab and had been good about doing their assignments and stuff, a few computers down from me, asked the TA a question, and the TAs, they're like, hey, so how would I do this, or how would I start doing this? And they're like, I don't know, how would you? And he's like, shouldn't you just know the answer? Like, what's the TA kept repeating, well, what is the answer? And I know sometimes TAs you do want to encourage, right, everyone to think for themselves and be like, well, can you find the answer? Do you have a feeling you know what the answer is? But they were just being like an asshole about it. They're like, well, if you paid attention, you would know the answer. So what's the answer? And they're like, I did pay attention. I don't understand how you got to that conclusion. And they're like, well, if you paid attention, you would know how to script anything and everything. And like, they just had such an attitude about it. I'm just gonna do one long rant from now. My brain is so broken from working in Engine already all day today. But yeah, they were like, they just like tore this kid up, and then they got to me and they're like, do you have any questions? And I took the flash drive out of the computer and packed my bag, and I was like, nope, I'm good. And I never went back to that lab. That meant my friend group, we went to all the lectures for class, but it meant we really struggled and barely passed those assignments because we were all just like passing notes to each other, and we're like, hey, do you know what any of this like means and stuff? And we would spend like pretty much every Sunday night, we would huddle together in a dorm and try to collectively figure out what the hell people were talking about. Not to say that you have to be a mega programmer to use Unity. If you're looking for something to use, don't let me scare you away from Unity with my tales of woe. But yeah, you do have to be comfortable with a little bit of programming, or at least know the basics of how the logic works, I think, to have a better time in Unity. But there is a reason a lot of people use Unity, I think, for especially like indie projects and stuff, is once you understand the logic, it's a different way of thinking. Like, learning coding and stuff is genuinely learning another language. But once you understand the logic, it keeps it very basic, and it's how complex you want to make it. So the engine can really become whatever you make of it. Unreal has a lot of default stuff put in place to help hold your hand and guide you through the experience a bit better and make it more accessible. But in doing so, sometimes when you get a little more experience, you'll be like, oh, I want to do this. And then it's like, oh, I can't really the way it's currently set up. So I have to go out of my way to find a solution. And oh my gosh, the optimization is now broken because of that solution. So you tend to start seeing the flaws in Unreal the more experienced you get with it, I think. But regardless, Unreal's my baby. I love it. Is it perfect? Nah. I've had many a struggle and I can't do this no more with Unreal before. but I always come back. Let's make these thin walkways that we got up here. Yeah, that's good. That's good. Actually, let me make sure the height is tall enough with the ramp for me to go under. Okay, it is. That's the correct height I wanted. And you can't normally jump up to that height, but you can dash up to that height. Perfect. Perfect! I honestly didn't think I'd come back to this Lyra template so soon. Because actually before, I had worked with it, we had experimented with it on stream before, and in my free time when Unreal Engine 5 kind of first came out, and this template first did, I was like, yeah, I'll check it out, see what's going on. Make this one a little thinner. But yeah, I used a little bit of Lyra in some other projects, and then I used it for around this time last year. Unfortunately, I got caught up, I can't speak, in some of like the industry-wide game dev layoffs that are still happening. Tragically, like every day I open LinkedIn, like another studio's just gone. It's horrible. I'm luckily working at an indie company now. We're making some cool spooky stuff. I got health insurance again. I got health insurance and I got enough to pay rent and to, obviously, like, I'm taking a vacation this weekend, so I have PTO and finances to do that, so very happy. But yeah, previously my last few projects with Lyra, they came out really great, but I had like a bit of, I'll admit, just a little bit of a hesitancy and a grudge from like bad personal memories with it. Like I was very stressed doing our pumpkin patch portfolio piece last year. It probably showed the more like streams went on, because it went from, oh, I have the time to do this fun thing, to, am I going to be able to eat if this doesn't turn out the way not even a designer wants it, but the way a recruiter from a company that does something completely different than me, like, how are they gonna view this arena? So I put a lot of stress on it, and I haven't touched anything Lyra since then until now. So hopefully this will be like a nice little healing project to let me know I just needed a break. Because it is a good template. I was on a project that like once also didn't really use it for what it was meant to do. So hence like confusion of why isn't it doing what we want? And it's like, well, that's not what the template was meant for. So that's why I'm not stressing out too much about like working on coding this to be exactly as like Kid Icarus was quite yet, because this is more our stepping stones to get to that. I need to do the blockout work and heal first. On your list of shaking off the dust. Yeah, I still have my list from like different project things I wanted to try while I was unemployed that I still want to hit as stream projects. Another big thing is I want to learn Blender, because I know Blender can do everything, and I actually, fun fact, I don't just have a game design degree from college, but I actually also have an animation degree. I double majored because at the time it was like a 2-class difference, and they really upsell it to you. They would really upsell it to you with the like advisors and stuff. They'd be like, well, you have to take 2 electives in the department for graduation. Oh, would you look at that? if you take 2 animation classes, you get a double major. Simple. And a lot of people started out doing that. They were like, oh yeah, that's simple, that's easy, I like animation. A lot of people dropped because the animation classes were so hard, but somehow I made it through. But not because of 3D modeling, mind you. I think actually because of my presentation and video editing skills. Like, I think compared to everything else, I was at least decent at animating if I put the time into it, but I would often rush my assignments because I was doing game dev assignments instead. So my animation work slipped through the cracks. I think I could have gotten better at it if I focused on it. I could have been a decent animator maybe in another life. But I can't draw. I can't rig. I skipped any rigging assignments and just took zeros on them. I can do textures and materials a little bit, but I'm not great at it. And modeling's the same thing. I used to be at least almost decent at 3D modeling, but that's completely gone. But as someone that likes, there's like the level design portion that's more like scripting focused, and there's level designers that are more visual and architecture environment focused, and that's the side I lean towards more. So it's like I definitely want to improve and enhance those general like art skills to better my design in general. So I think I should go ahead and learn Blender. I tried to a few years ago. I tried doing the donut tutorial that everyone does for Blender, and I somehow broke it. I didn't even get to the materials part. I think I got to the part where you like the icing on the donut. It broke, man. I don't know what I did, but it broke. I don't know how I did it. So I might retry that. That's actually one, depending on how our like next Fortnite creative game jam goes, and whenever we reach like a polished enough state with this arena, we might take a break between arenas and between Fortnite creative stuff and do like a one-off Blender stream. Hopefully sometime this winter or this spring. Where'd Miro go? I need Miro. There we go. What is going on with this wall? I forgot. What is going on with this wall? It's a chunky wall. Oh, it's a much bigger blocker than I thought it would be. I'll bring this in a little bit. So that can be chomp gear. I'm only gonna make it 4. But yeah, we essentially just have this blocker on the side of the wall here. I don't think it's not this high in the picture, but I'm gonna leave it a little higher so it's not super easy to dash over. Got a little flare there. There's not an octagon, but there is a hex-shaped thing, so we can change over here. Change the sides to 6, and boom, we got a hexagon. I think it's just literally a tiny little hexagon that's a cover blocker just out here. You can jump on top of it and land on top of it in the game too, I remember. So we'll just leave it around here. Let's get, there's like a small ramp up. On this side. This area was getting crowded in my paper design too. So we'll play with it a little bit. I'll make this ramp ultra thin. Yeah, I don't think this wraps around all the way to that side. Wait, how tall are these supposed to be? 5? Wait, no. $3.5. This is why it's good to block out with like a grid texture also. It makes it easier to count stuff. Which is something I did not do. I think the last time we actually did a level design study was a couple years ago. We did a study of a level from Wallace and Gromit in Project Zoo. An absolutely fantastic game. If you guys couldn't tell by the Gromit mug, I love Wallace and Gromit. But yeah, we did a blockout study of that, and we didn't use grids as much, so some stuff came out a little wonky as a result. To be fair, when we started it, I'm like, I'm not gonna be super organized, that's probably a bad thing, don't do this. And then it ended up being a bad thing. We'll make this longer. Okay, that's not bad. That's not bad. I think we'll scoot this out even a bit more. Need 1.5 more in the X value, so make it 6.5. Nope, I was wrong. Not the X, in the Y. 23. Ooh. Is that Mr. Zendosona? Hey, hey! It's 4:30, damn. Well, you can go ahead and go to bed, but thank you for stopping by. Glad you got to catch a little bit of one of our game dev streams here. But these game dev streams are also, like the other ones that I've started saving more this year, they're available for 2 months on Twitch, and then they're up. I always push them to the YouTube VOD stuff, like a day or two after. I'm going to try to do a few more during the day, like every few weekends, or whenever I have holiday time off throughout the year. I might do occasional game jam streams instead, so it is possible I may catch you when it's not 4:30 a.m. with one of these one day. But thank you for stopping by anyway. Hope you have a good night. Get some rest. folks, I gotta set an alarm for like 5:45 in the morning. Like, these Disney reservation things, they yeah, they open at 7 Eastern. I'm on Central Time, first off, so that opens at 6. And you have to be right in there. Like, Disney adults don't mess around, you guys. You gotta be right in there at 6. Oh, I kind of want to push this up a little more to make sure you can make that. I don't know if you're supposed to be able to glide over there in the original game or not, but oh, it would be cool. Just a little bit. That's something that happens in game design too, a lot when making a game, is you have a plan and then you do something and you're like, wait a minute, that was really cool, do it again. Now, how did I go even farther? Okay, you know what? Maybe it was just the angle. I got the angle wrong the first time, because it seems fun. This is about the right height that it was in the game. Cool, so we'll save the interior part. Well, I guess technically we'll save the BSP floor for last. And the void and stuff. But we'll save the interior until we get... Let's get this upper thing here figured out. And again, I'm just gonna leave this for next stream. Or maybe even if I want to work with it off stream. If I need to like warm up before next stream, I can tackle this. I'm like, I could put a spline down, or we could do some landscaping, or I could do a custom mesh or a BSP. I know I'm saying all these solutions out loud because I know I could do them. My brain, I cannot stress how stressed I am. My brain just wants to place cubes and a few cylinder BSPs. If I do anything outside of that, that's just not what I can, but I'll be complaining about it. So we're just gonna keep it. That way we can focus on maybe like what polishing a block out looks like. So we can have before and afters of what the blocky block out looks like versus what the revised block out looks like. Because I've done every map I've ever made across AAA, AA, solo indie, team indie. Every map I've ever made has had a very rough blocky one, and then the more polished, I can actually understand what's going on in the level type of one. And there's a lot of iterations between those two. I know it's an important thing with like artists too, is like you have to like draw a lot and practice drawing and thinking your drawing's ugly before you can actually get to improving and making stuff better. It's like that for every single game dev thing. You're not gonna put a cube down and be like, voila, it's finished, it's a masterpiece. You gotta keep at it and keep finding things to tweak, even when I'm just recreating something one-to-one. Remakes take time. That's why even when people go, it says it's a remake, like when you see a game that says it's a remake but it's almost like one for one, they're like, well, why does it take so long if it said remake? Remaster. A port means it's mainly programming's area to get the exact version of a game working as similarly as it can on a newer system. A remaster is like graphically changing and updating some materials and stuff, and maybe some like gameplay and UI elements to be smoother, but it's still the same game underneath. A remake is where the level designers and the entire gang is called in and be like, we don't have any of the original stuff, you're making it from scratch. So even if it turns out exactly the same, someone's got to replace all those cubes, someone's got to redo all the gameplay, someone's got to remake all of the, I don't know, stuff. So it's always important to show the ugly part of it. Cause there would be no video games without the ugly part of it. Now now time to figure out what the heck is going on up here. Contemplate. Why did I put so many marshmallows in here? The candy cane is also melting. Ah! I'm gonna pull this up on the 3DS. Even though my cousin took perfect, lovely pictures of it. I need to look at this with my own eyes. What am I looking at here? Okay, yeah, we got this path. And then we got another cylinder. Let's go. I think this is it a hexagon? I fell off of it. It might be, what, septagon? 7 sides? No, that might just be what it becomes. Okay, so where are the support beams on this thing? That's what I need. There we go. Now where's a similar picture in here? Aha! We do have a similar photo in here. I'm also gonna lower this so that I guess it doesn't have to be exactly another tier up, but I'm gonna make it so I've got like what 1.5. Let's make this height 1.5. See how this looks at this height. I'll make it a little higher up. Let's put it at 2. I feel like I'm playing with Legos the way everything's snapping together. Yeah, let's work with this height. And then there's a support here. How to like, so basically it's like a little bridge with a cutout underneath, and I feel like how you tackle this is like what type of level design brain you have. So there's the option of what we're going to do, and what I'm feeling like tonight is we're gonna build it up with cubes, so we'll just like place each portion of it and leave an opening. You could also just place a giant like BSP and cut the shape out of the middle where you want the opening to be. It depends on what your workflow is. I think that's an important part about like professional level design I never really thought about before, but it's being able to adapt the different ways of level design. So like I said, you could just stack things up by adding a bunch of static meshes. You can do BSPs to cut things out. You can be a like cube type of person or a landscape type of person for whatever your floor is, and then you can do a lot of gray box, or you can do a lot of paper designs, or you could do a lot of like kit bashing with the actual art kits. But yeah, what your favorite type of level design, that is definitely allowed to vary per person. You are allowed to have a favorite and work however is comfortable for you. But I would encourage, if you're wanting to do level design professionally, even if it's like not AAA, even for like AA or like contracts or even smaller indie work, bigger indie work, be prepared to like adapt to different level design things. Like, I very much, if you guys couldn't tell, I very much prefer the cubes. They bring me comfort, they bring me joy. But I've been on projects where they're like, hey, so like we don't have like a measurement gym, we don't have time to like whip one up or anything, we're disorganized, but we do have the art kit. Can you block this out using the art kit and snapping things into place, and then we'll have an artist come and set dress it and replace the materials on it and stuff. I've been on projects where I've had to do that. I've also been on projects where they're like, what are you doing using an art kit? Because then it's like, people will think this is artist work, but you're just a designer, so it's insulting to them. You have to work in gray box, or else it'll confuse people. It has to be grids. So I've done that. I've been on a lot of projects recently where it's like, just do whatever's comfortable for you, as long as you document it and like let people know what your work style is, so they know how to work with you and can figure something out there. But yeah, it's important to be able to be flexible on that, I think. Kind of like how artists have to know a variety of different like art styles sometimes if you want to do something professionally, even though their personal calling may be only like one specific art style or something. They may have their own brand, but the corporate life, you have to know how to appeal to multiple things. Or like a programmer needs to know many different programs to work with and stuff. I would say that's one of the equivalents that a level designer has. Is just being able to work with whatever toolbox you're giving. Usually people are like, with level design, it's like a design toolbox. It's like, what type of pieces can I use to block out? What are the game mechanics? What's the theming of the level? What are things I want to add? What are things other people want to have? What are big red flag no-nos? Those are also part of your toolbox as like a trap to electrocute you should you do any of them. But it's important to be able to work with different little toolboxes. That's why some stuff like Blocktober or doing game jams are really good, to test your flexibility and adaptability to all those different types of things. I've never actually done like a fancy official game jam though. I've always just done like personal ones. A lot of my coworker friends did one, and like my partner did one maybe a couple years ago now. I remember I was out of town that weekend and actually like kind of upset. I was still living with my parents at the time, so I'm like, well, I can't just pull an all-nighter and keep them up and like the rest of my family. I think it was like during a summer where my sister was home too, so I'm like, I can't put everyone through me just making video games 24/7 on top of like the streaming and everything. I was playing a lot of D&D at the time too, so I didn't end up being able to do the game jam stuff. And I almost did a few in college. But yeah, they would always advertise them as, hey, do you want to do a game jam? We're gonna stay up all night and make ourselves sick and make a video game. And I'm like, that is already what I do every weekend. what makes this different? Though I do really wish I had done at least one in college. I think would have been fun. But should I do one with some of my industry friends, I will certainly let you guys know. And then I want to hopefully, again, I need to now check with all members of like all sides of family on like, okay, who's traveling and who's doing what on like every weekend for the next 2 months, so like we can all arrange pet sitting and like celebration plans. I thought I had like the next like 4 trips I was gonna take in general planned out, but now I'm not so sure. But yeah, if the stream schedule remains unaltered, I want to do a game jam stream on President's Day, which is a Monday that I have like a holiday off of work. So my new place is actually, they're pretty cool. I still don't have a lot of PTO generated, so that's why I'm kind of doing these like long weekends. I don't have nearly as much PTO as I did at my previous place. But the flip side of that is I do still have like flex time. I can work whatever hours work best for me, given each week. And then we just got told that we have like basically at least a day off for like some sort of holiday every month. So that's exciting. So that makes me think like, well, maybe I could do a monthly like weekday stream then. Because the other part of me is like, oh, perfect, more long weekends to travel, but those are the weekends everybody's traveling. I know this because, like, 4th of July weekend last year, my boyfriend and I were like, we should go out and we should, like, usually my family throws a party, but I think they were sick last year, so we're like, well, we should do something on our own for 4th of July. Let's go. We went to, like, a national park. We're like, who's gonna go hiking on the 4th of July? We're like, we're gonna go hiking and we're gonna go to the beach. Have you guys ever had to sit in traffic for 2 hours to get to a parking lot for a Midwest beach? We may not have had the brightest of ideas, being like, what if we went to the beach on 4th of July? On a very sunny day. Thankfully, it rained. It rained at the end of the day, so we went to the beach while it was raining, because we were like, hell yeah, nobody's here. What a good deal. But yeah, that makes me think that, and I may use some of those long weekends for travel, but I do kind of want to carve out time to do a few weekday afternoon streams here and there, because I think weekday afternoons are actually like kind of my strongest stream times, and I was able to do that during college, and I was able to do that while unemployed. But I do like having a full-time salary again. I'm very grateful for it, and my job lets me do level design, which is indeed my passion. Is this all we have to do? I think this is set. Damn. Let me make sure I got the width of the bridge correct. Run up to it on the map. Well, that's correct. To the interior. To the interior. This is it. Actually, I know there's a jump pad in here. Let me see if I can find it in the content browser. I've got sound effects for a jump pad. Okay. Try searching actors. Nope. Well, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna give me the reference viewer. Where's that sound pad go? Oh, where does that go? Oh, where does that go? Aha! Reference viewer. Honestly, you know what I think really makes me a decent level designer? Or just like game developer at the end of the day. You know why I know I'm not horrible? I'm so nosy. I'm such a nosy and detective person that if something's wrong in a level, I'm like, even though I've never actually done a QA only role, I'm really decent at QA stuff. I know how to hunt bugs down, and I know how to like figure out what's going on in a level with like minimal communication because I look through the files, I look through commits. I look at other parts of the level, other maps, and I'm like, this worked somewhere once at some point, and I'm gonna figure out how. Mark my words. Okay, launcher up. That's gotta be our jump pad. Your cat won't stop yelling at you, help. Oh, my cat. You gotta help me, Tapman. My cat's been doing the same thing. So, I usually wake up, I usually start around like 9 to 10 for work, and then that way I can clock out around like 5 to 6, but sometimes I sleep in a little after 10 and work a little after 6 instead. So 10's usually around the time that we feed our cat. My boyfriend also, he usually gets up around 9, sometimes sleeps until 10. So 10's like our cat's breakfast time because we're both usually definitely up by then. And it's a rolling wake up until then. My cat, being the little goober he is, he likes to wake up 2 hours before breakfast, so he wakes up at 8 a.m., sings a lovely song, and then goes back to sleep until it's breakfast time. Starting this week, to prep for like travel and to prep for getting these like reservations tomorrow morning, I've been waking up at 8 now. And I've been up at 8 too, so I'm up and about a full 2 hours ahead of when I usually am. Before the first alarm of the week even went off, my cat woke up 2 hours early himself. On his schedule, he woke up at 6 a.m. before he even knew I was gonna wake up at 8 a.m. He adjusted his schedule to scream at 6 a.m. for breakfast. And now keep in mind, I said I have to get up at 6 a.m. tomorrow for these tickets. I genuinely think that boy is going to wake up at 4 a.m. and have a demand for me. And I don't know what I'm gonna do, because I kind of want to take a nap before work. I want to like get these fast passes in, and then I want to nap. I don't think that's gonna fly with the orange boy. He doesn't even want food or anything, he just wants to yap. Yeah, my cat's a yapper. To be fair, so am I, so I kind of... Oh, I should have hit play from here. So I kind of brought that upon myself. He'll be yapping and I'll be like, is that so? Okay, this jump pad's not jump paddy enough. The weakest, the saddest jump pad I've ever seen. Eh. Let's crank you up. I'm just gonna say 3,000. That's probably way too much, but... Okay, 3,000's too much, I think. But it is fun to go up higher, so let's do... 2,000? Oh, so close, so close. $2,100. Final offer. That's like exactly where you land in the DS game. Oh my god, I'm cooking. I'm leaving that there. I'm gonna color it pink like the jump pads in the game. Yeah, look at that. Oh my god. I'm doing it. I'm doing it. Okay, let's get these interior walkways done. Because I keep yapping about it. And then oohing and ahhing at my own work. You wake him up constantly because he looks cute. Yeah, I'm guilty of doing that to my cat too. He'll be having a nap. And I'll be like, isn't it nice to nap, my child? Isn't it nice to sleep? Wake up. My cat actually, he demands screen time. I don't know if it's just something with these Gen Z cats. Actually, my cat's an old man. He's not Gen Z in the cat world. But he demands screen time. Like, the nights where both me and my boyfriend, like nights like tonight, I'm surprised I think because the back window's like open. And because he's probably watching my boyfriend's screen. My boyfriend's back there playing some games with friends. But my cat needs to be watching a screen at all times to be happy. If we are like having dinner like on the couch out here and just talking instead of eating in the bedroom with the TV on, like we have to put queso on for him. He knows when queso goes live each night, and if the TV's off, he'll scream and tap on it. But he'll adjust to anything. I was playing Kingdom Hearts 3 and he fell asleep on my lap as I was playing it. I was playing The Sims 2 and I made him in it. And he like stood up and he pawed at the screen because he recognized he was a handsome gentleman. He was like checking himself out. But yeah, he constantly needs screen, and I guess my sister's kitten is the same way. Like she just sent a video of her cat. She had to like hop on a call, so she put like a YouTube video of a goldfish swimming around on, and her cat's been just sitting there watching it all night. Just completely mesmerized. My cat calms down if there's something violent on. When Artie was a kitten, the first Hobbit movie had came out. And I know not everyone likes the Hobbit movies. Lord of the Rings is infinitely better, I know, but I have a soft spot for the Hobbit because they were coming out around the time I was into Lord of the Rings, and I'm actually a really big fan of the first Hobbit movie. People say it's boring, but nah, I'm here for the slow burn. I like the second movie a lot too, and I like certain bits of the third one a lot, but I wish the third one had some more of the moments and some more payoffs from just the aesthetic, the essence that the first Hobbit movie had. But back to Arthur. That marshmallow all over. But he was a baby. He was a wee lad when the first Hobbit movie dropped, so I would like watch it on repeat. Off like, I think I got it on my iPod. Like my iPod Touch at the time. I was watching it off of there. And he would calm down because if he heard the sound of like people being attacked and screaming, it would calm him. So I just kept showing him like all of the Lord of the Rings movies, and then when my dad like hung out with my cat, he'd put on like scary movies and it would calm my cat down and he'd purr and stuff. So I've genuinely found the more like, if it's animated, like my cat loves Adventure Time, he'll watch it. Or if they're screaming, he'll watch it. It will calm him. Bonus points if it's something animated with a lot of screaming. Hence why he likes Animation Time. Or animation time. Adventure time. Jeez, I'm tired. I'm tired. Why are these walkways? I literally just spawned in where one of these walkways are, actually. Oops. Game dev. Pacing wise, this is perfect though. Like, my brain's more shut down than I thought it would be tonight, so I'm glad I didn't do a full 4-hour stream. I think just even for like game chill streams during the weeknights, I think keeping them shorter just works better for me. Just chill streams shouldn't be like 5 hours or something, right? I feel like chill streams, it's fine if they're just 1 or 2 hours, because you're supposed to be chill. So I've been liking these little weeknight ones. I bring that ramp in more. I think I should. I'm gonna bring it in more. Actually, I think I have most. This should be most of the base block out. There's a few cover pieces I need to put down, but oh my god, I've done it. I've done it. I haven't seen this map in years. Let me place down. Someone turned me into a piece of tempura. I'm trying to play the game. If I start trying to teach myself how to do like tech things, there's an item you can throw that, well, there's one item that turns people into eggplants. There's another one that turns them into pieces of tempura shrimp. Both are just like, it's just the object, and then you have your like your little leggies sticking out of it, and you can't do anything except run because there's enemies in the game, the main game, that can shoot you and do that to you. If they don't put Kid Icarus on the Switch too, I'm gonna have to eat a building or something. Like, I physically can't take that reality. I don't know what more to say. It's an unbearable thought to me. Like, it's so perfect. It's so perfect for it. I don't know why they would, I'll be honest, I don't know why they would make a Switch 2 if they're not gonna put Kid Icarus on it. I hate this. I hope I don't sound silly, but what's the point? This is a joke. I keep up with gaming news and I'm an avid Nintendo fan. 'Tis a joke. I will be purchasing the Switch 2. Honestly, I have so much faith in Nintendo and I love the Wii U era so much that if pre-orders opened like a month before the game showcase, I'd pre-order it. No questions asked. I'd be like, oh, okay, I trust you. I guess these could be a little wider. What is going on in here? So much is happening. Okay, these pieces over here. go all the way down to the ground. There we go. I was like, why is there so much extra space? That's why. My god, I think I may have cooked. Let me swap this out to a BSP. I'm gonna put the same texture on it though. So just copy that. I think it's Shift B. Yeah, Shift B to apply to all faces. Paste. Perfect. Okay, these are scaled a little bit differently. Hold on. Let me find. The new value. Wow. 34.5? I don't think we want 34.5. 35. Right, 35 by 35 for the BSP. Let's delete our original cube. RIP cube. There we go. Now is for the trick. So for my next trick, we'll take this cylinder, shrink it down a bit. Actually, ooh, I have a better idea. Or no, I don't. Do I have a better idea? No. So this is gonna be basically how the BSP brushes addition and subtraction work. Is you just gotta like layer it right, is the trick. Speaking of which, where did they move the move the additive? Oh, brush type. There we go. So, subtractive. So by controlling this volume, we can control the drop into the pit. I didn't want to hit the Windows key. There we go. And another subtractive one. Let me actually look into the brush editing and see if I can easily like drag these all together. Could do, oh actually yeah, here's what we'll do. I'm gonna drag these points to the outer part. So again, why we couldn't really do something like this with a static mesh, but I'm dragging our subtractor volume, our like top subtractor volume, to give it this angle. There's probably better ways to do that, but this is my way. And then we are going to adjust the jump pad again to be at a sloped angle on this. Because that's another part of what makes this part of the map so interesting. Is that it gives like this little ramp element all the way out here. Alright, it's not perfect. Oh lord. Definitely not perfect. Let me lower this down. Actually expand you like that. Expand the inner one. That's the void! Ooh! That animation degree. All my student loans just paid off. I made a shape. I made a shape that's not a cube, you guys. Oh my god. Let me clean this up a little bit and grab... What are the 2 cylinder brushes that aren't part of this? 2 and 3? Okay. Just get 1, 4, 5, and 6 and group them together and put them in a folder called Da Pit. I'll understand what I was talking about later. Maybe it's... Well, maybe it's too steep. Actually, yeah, before I change anything with the jump pad, I might have gotten too excited and made it too steep. I see. I mean, I think it's fun. I think it's fun like that, honestly. It really depends more so on how we want to get this jump pad to work. Will it even work at... Will it work at this angle to get us up here? That's what we need to know. It's perfect. Oh my gosh, I should have never doubted it. Oh my god. Let me put some... I want to put little cutouts in the wall here because they do have those in the game. Since we have time, since we have like, I've got about 40 minutes left. I want to put those little window cutouts here. There is a ceiling on this thing with more cutouts. And then I want to put some fencing up. Where are our windows? So we've got kind of two on this side. I didn't mean to hit delete, oh my god! The undo button is truly the greatest invention ever made. I would be a wreck without it. Keep it like that. I feel like there's a pillar there. Oh, these are wide windows, so these pillars have to be smaller then. I can hear my cat slurping back there. That'll do. That'll do. It doesn't have to be perfect. Actually, oh, I've made a mistake. You could very easily snipe in there from here. So it needs to be a bit taller. Just leave it like that for now. Now, where else are there windows in this thing? I think actually visually for the rest of it, there is technically a little overhang here, but it's much higher than the top of the windows. Why are people punching me? Yo! I'm trying to gather evidence. And then how I want to end stream, because I think we'll get all these like little small things I'm fussing over in the next like 10-15 minutes. So then we'll wrap up by dragging some of the spawns over here. We won't do like any sort of pickup placement or stuff quite yet. Or maybe I'll put just a few down to test with, but nothing too specific. I think the other openings are at this height. Actually, what does that opening look like? What? Okay, it is. It's back here. And then this really is just, oh, I see where I messed up. These aren't tall pieces. These are actually quite short. So should this be much taller? Oh, well, it's too late now. I think it's fun. Actually, yeah, this is the height I remember. I remember that. And then I guess this can be much lower. Okay, that'll work. And then there's not breakups and windows across these last two sides. They're just big, long windows. I'm guessing, honestly, lighting. So they don't have to put point lights in here. A point light on the 3DS probably costs like $2 bazillion in a developer's soul. So some nice ambiance is just as good, I suppose. That's a window! Look at that window! Ooh! That's a window! I'm just gonna completely delete this wall and rotate these. Those are windows. Actually, what is holding that side of the building together? Anything? No, there is no support in this corner at all. That's just how the building works. I love that. Some dev just said, I do not care. It works how it works. That makes me so happy. Now, again, if you are a long-time viewer of me, you know on my game dev streams, I always complain about putting a roof on things. This does still happen in my professional career too, because I'm like, well, now I can't see it, and now I'm grumpy about it. However, this roof has cutouts in it, so I do not mind. My complaints ceased. Up at the ceiling here, it's like a grid of 3 by 3. Oh, but there's like little end pieces too. pieces need to be like, 2 with a 2. Put her there. Chef's kiss. Chef's kiss. Okay. I'm just gonna really eyeball them here. Especially since I turned the snapping down. That seems good enough to me. Look from. Oh my goodness, I'm a genius. I'm a genius! Hey! Okay. Let's put like. Let's make some cute little. Like rope and fence barriers. Then we could put some blocking volumes up too, but I'm not even gonna do a pass like that right now. Why did it swap to the— oh my gosh, it's being weird again. I don't know why I'm spending the time making these look like little fences when they aren't even gonna block anything of real importance, but it's fine. We got time to make silly blockouts. I feel like these are the charming parts of blockouts, is when people take time to make the just tiny little details. I always love doing that. Like, oh my gosh, my favorite blockout things I've ever made were blockout trees And blockout ghosts. Ooh, I made some little blockout ghosts on the map once. They were so cute. There was one project, I think, unfortunately it's like, I have like a lot of unannounced stuff from my previous job, so unfortunately don't know if I'll ever get to talk about my stuff on Le Project, but it was a really fun project and I got to do a lot of really fun, just blockady, goofy things on it. But because I was doing so many goofy things, like, people never really had to ask me, like, sometimes on some of my first, AAA maps, be like, hey, so, like, you put these cubes here, but what actually are these cubes, like, visually? And then what's their purpose, mission-wise? Which is the whole point of level design, is you gotta get that across so that other departments can make their work reflect that design, right? So I like struggled with that for a bit, but then I found the solution was just being goofy. But like, even if this feels like a silly way to express your ideas, if you're expressing your ideas, then it's doing its purpose. You're doing a good job. You should keep it up. Why are we getting all the sad Zelda songs? Is that why I'm so deep in thought tonight? Keep getting sad songs. I'm gonna cry. I actually just had a big brain idea. I know Sims 1 and 2 just came out. And I think they're actually going to release the next Sims 4 expansion pack in March, I think it said on the roadmap. So we need to get back to playing our current Sims 4 file as well, and we need to like figure out something and start something in the Sims 3 too. But tell me why I just thought of the best legacy challenge idea, like, I don't want to brag here, but ever. The best legacy challenge idea ever, and it works so well with the rebirth concept in the Life and Death pack. Zelda. Do the bloodline of Zeldas. In fact, you guys want to know how broken my brain was today? It's because I spent all that energy. Like, I was like, I wonder what a legacy Sims 4 legacy challenge with Zelda would look like. So I wrote out what each generation would be like. You would start with Skyward Sword Zelda, and her goal, like, she would be very goofy as a teen, but then you'd have to strike responsibility into her and have her move into a new lot as a young adult after she goes to university. And her job is to like start a stable bloodline, and then she has to have 4 grandchildren to be the 4 Swords Link to go into Minish Cap Zelda, and then like Minish Cap Link and stuff. Like, that would be her requirement. But then you might think, how are you gonna do the timeline split? Multiple households. After Ocarina Zelda, she has to have 3 kids that all part ways, and then none of their households can like reach out and talk to each other. They can only like keep up with their own like new ancestors for new branches of the timeline. Right? Stay with me. But then you guess what? After you run all 3 of those branches like separately, Hyrule Warriors Zelda. And she would be like a descendant of the Link to the Past, the Fallen Hero timeline, because that's just where I always think of it, because I guess maybe technically, the more I think about it, Hyrule Warriors seems like it would take place in the child timeline, because the adult timeline gets completely flooded, and the Fallen Hero timeline, Hyrule's like, it's still there technically, but it's basically just smithereens. So maybe I'll rework the list a bit so that that one's the last one, but water under the bridge. Essentially, you'd have one of them reunite all of them with the For Rent pack as like a landlord, I guess, but a fancy landlord. Give them all castles on the original map again. And just, even though it seems like that reunion would be cute, the next generation have a child move away and then they give birth to Breath of the Wild Zelda. And she wants to know about her ancestry, and she's kept isolated until she's a young adult. And she wants to know about her ancestry and stuff. But she doesn't move back to the like Hyrule lot. When she grows up, she moves back to the very original lot that Skyward Sword Zelda came from. And then she ends the bloodline there. She's a strong, independent woman that she has a crush on Link, but that don't mean they have to continue the bloodline. I feel like if the Zelda bloodline were to end, it would end with her just because she's way OP. And I feel like kids would... She'd be a perfect mom, but also it would stress homegirl the hell out. I wish nothing but a life of peace and happiness for Breath of the Wild Zelda. It would stress her out. But yeah, I just thought up this perfect challenge, and I'm like, is that something I start up on my own, or do... I guess we truly have to wait and see what the next Sims 4 expansion pack is, if that would break anything with my plans, or if they ever patch like Sims 2, we could try a legacy challenge in that, or Sims 3 even. We have to see basically what Sims updates look like for the next few months and which game's the most stable. Likelihood is none of them will be stable, to be honest, but I love The Sims anyway. But I'm almost like, that would be a really fun challenge to do on stream. I've been torn between that and I found a pre-made like Disney princess one, generational challenge. So I kind of want to do a legacy challenge, but I also want to keep our Miitopia stuff obviously and have that rolling at the same time. So it depends what our stream schedule look like. Right now it's open, but we have so many ongoing things on the channel that we've never once run out of things to stream. For all I know, Hades 2 could drop an update any day and then we're booked with that. I got so much hot chocolate. But yeah, really cool idea I had. So we'll see if I actually end up starting that one up or not. Maybe I'll like, if I really love and can complete a legacy challenge, then I would stream it also. Or if I even love just this first few eras of it. But I feel like I need to take it for a test run and I need to see how it feels on my own PC. Or my own PC, on my personal files. I own my PCs. I did not steal these from anybody whatsoever. They are mine. That's probably the most unconvincing. Alright, so let me place some of these where I remember the spawns being. There's one up here. I know because my character's dead right now over there. There's one like right over here. There's another one in here. Let me die a few times in here. So I can see where some of the other spawns are. Actually, I have it on easy so no one's going to kill me at all. For now, let's just split it. Or let's see, we have one up there, there. Let's put another one in the corner. I feel like there's another one inside here on the ground floor. We're gonna put one. I don't think there's one exactly here, but I know there's one in the vicinity. I think it might be right there. I know there have to be 6 separate spawns. Let's put the last one on top of here. There have to be 6 separate spawns because you can play 6-player free-for-all if I'm not mistaken. How it usually spawns in for the start of Light v Dark, since you have 2 separate teams, is you'll have 3 players spawn in here. And then you'll have 3 spawn in here. That stuff I'm gonna have to tweak the system a little bit more for. I think I've had some headaches trying to... There should be simple settings somewhere for the team deathmatch options. I would like to crank it up to be 3v3 and have them spawn in. That's probably what I can set the spawn tags, I'm sure. But I need to do a little more research with how Lyra works with that. Because I didn't figure it out last time I was in here, I believe. So I'm not gonna figure it out tonight. But let's go ahead and hit play. See how this feels. Where's everybody? Oh! Oops. You know what I forgot to do? I forgot to do this on like my first game dev assignment too, so let me tell you all something. The nav mesh. You gotta have a nav mesh if you want your enemies to go anywhere. I forgot. This one auto builds, which is nice. But yeah, the nav mesh tells the enemies where they can and cannot go. It looks like they're having some issues with this BSP here, so that's something we'll have to clean up, but it should work for today. Anywhere green they can go. I'm trying to think, Navlink proxy, yeah. So an issue I ran into also is that by default left to right. So by default it doesn't seem like the Lyric characters like to jump down, which in any game that requires jumping can be difficult. We ran into that as like an issue and a bug at first on an issue and a bug with our previous map, but we ended up turning it into a design challenge and trying to like work with it a bit and being like, okay, if we were designing a game where the player could jump and had a lot of movement but the AI didn't, but it was still framed as like a balanced shooter, how would we design for that? which is like, I think, a cool thing for levels designers to do. Sometimes it's very frustrating when you don't have the artistic ability, or you don't have the programming ability, or some nights you just feel plain stupid with something. And you don't know what to do about it, and it can be frustrating because it impacts your design, but stuff like this happens across like any size game, with any amount of experienced people. Stuff like this happens all the time where you'll design for one thing, right? And then you'll get something that's like, actually, it works completely differently now. And that's just like a design challenge you have to work with and live with. So whenever I find myself like blocked by my own abilities, I do try to learn from it and see, well, what can I do to remedy the situation? But if I end up like drawing blanks on it, also I realize these are all inversed. I need to swap them to right to left. But if you truly end up trapped, then think of it as I need to design myself out of the situation. You're not always going to be able to art or program your way out of a situation if that's not what you do. If that's not your strong house. So just play to your strengths. What can you do that will make your work stronger? But yeah, I'm going to put a few of these down. Oh, we're almost up on. I got 10 minutes before I gotta go to bed. Oh gosh, it's now hitting me that I'm going on a trip really soon. Eee! I'm excited. I can't wait to show you guys the souvenir haul when I get back. I'm trying to limit myself to like one like piece of apparel or something per park. And like I'm trying to limit myself to one plushie total. The more I think about it, the more I'm like, what about 2 plushies? I've got my plushie wall back there. I like them. They're just little dudes. Plushies are perfect. Okay, there are those. I'm trying not to be like super over detailed with this pass, but it'll bother me if the AI is just like standing around and not jumping down. Like I may just lose my marbles at the thought. Oops, that's the wrong direction. That, we've got that and that, so just a little bit on the walkways. And then this time for real, we'll play it. But yeah, your navigation pass is a very important thing. It's how your enemies get around the map. It can also affect things like if people are saying, hey, your level's too easy. You could be like, really? And then you could realize like, oh, well, it's because the enemies can't walk over to the player because there's no nav mesh there. Some things like Fortnite Creative automatically builds the nav mesh for you, which is nice, but it also means that you're not able to work with it and edit it as much, so that when there is a bug, even though there's less bugs and you're able to play right away, when there is a bug, it's harder to solve because you have less agency over it. Which again, like I talked about earlier, is kind of, I think, a difference between Unreal and Unity. Is that Unreal's easier to get into, but I feel harder to master, and Unity's kind of like, if you know, once you know the basics, you can do what you set your mind to logically. Oh wait, these... Oh, wait a minute. I've run into this problem before. Link directions. It's not the smart link, it's this link, I think. Yeah, there's the smart link and then there's the simple link. Let's try... Okay, I realize I think I have to set all of these till... Usually, I think I set them all up properly. So if we grab all of our navlink proxies, set them all like that. Yeah, you can tell it's set up properly because the arrow will be pointing down that way. Let me save again. Okay, now we can play. Oh, they shooting me. Oh, I should put a drop down from there to there. Now, the big thing about it being Lyra is that Kid Icarus does focus a lot more on melee. And this is a shooter. This is just a straight up shooter template. So the first tweaks I want to make to this are to put more of an emphasis on melee, like have melee damage more and have ranged attacks damage way less, unless it's a special weapon, but you know, pistols shouldn't be taking you out like this. Ooh. I've always been bad at this template too, so don't judge me too harshly. I've always been bad. I just set to 15. We'll play a full match. Double elimination. Oh, I'm crazy with. Oh, they're gonna kill me. We'll play to a full match. We'll probably lose, but once we got 15 points, that'll be where I sign off for the night. Oh, hello. I remember this little loop I'm doing. I remember doing that a lot. The glitch with them, like, not always nabbing to you when they spawn in is a thing I've dealt with before in Lyra. So, these problems right now don't seem to be level design related, at least. This is definitely... I think some programming stuff will have to work out. Or not even full programming, but... Woo! What's my teammate doing? Unless... I wonder if it is the nav. I wonder if they're getting stuck on it. And trying to go one direction. Well, they're getting stuck on spawn too, actually. I think it's something I'll have to just look into altogether. Oops. If I had ammo, that would have been really cool. One more kill, one more kill! I'm so good at the game. Perfect. Perfect! Well, let me get a picture. Let me get a good old picture of this. We actually, let's set up our bookmarks here. It is just now 11. So I said I had a heart out for a bedtime. I gotta go to bedtime. Someone's screaming in the hallway. What? What? Let me just save some bookmarks so that way we can keep track of our progress. Take screenshots of each of these. Why did it take so long to do that? Hello? Okay. Screenshot 2, 3, 4. Alright, so I will post these in the Discord so we can keep track of our progress every week, as well as the paper design stuff. Though that might be stuff that I post maybe in the morning, as well, since I really gotta go to bed now. I gotta fight Disney adults in the morning. Hopefully I shall survive the encounter. Yeah, it looks like none of our mutuals, I think, are... Yeah, I don't think any of our mutuals are live right now, so I do usually like to... I've been trying to end in raids for the first part, but just in general this year as a New Year's resolution. But on nights like... I do like to stick around in people's chat also, but on nights like this where I gotta go somewhere immediately, and we don't have an immediate person to raid, then I might just ramp down, but all the more reason for, if you guys know of channels that are kind of similar, just cozy vibes, or cool girlies, or Nintendo gamers, Kingdom Hearts fans, if you know of similar channels, or you just know someone close to you that also streams and you ever want to recommend raids, I think I'll open up like a channel for like self-promotion or for people to recommend channels that we can raid in the future, so I can grow that list a little better and be able to do more raids in the future. But I do enjoy also doing the random raid and seeing who we can find and encounter on our journeys. But I've been yapping. I gotta sign off. I must go to bed. So I will see you guys, we'll just call it here for tonight, and I will see you guys in a week from now. No weekend streams currently, and when I'm back in a week, it will probably just be a short, like 1 hour later at night catch-up stream. We probably won't do too much. We probably won't even get into blockout revisions with this, but we might just do some like weapon placement and play testing and such. So yeah, hopefully the next weekend stream we have is an Elden Ring weekend, and hopefully we have a game jam coming up on my next day off. But I will keep you guys updated first and foremost in the Discord if any changes to my February schedule does happen, but currently all of that should be set to move forward. So I hope you guys have a lovely rest of your night, rest of your week, and a lovely weekend, and I will see you guys on the next one. So take care all.